again, guys. I'm back again, and I wanted to return back to Wesnoth, Battle for Wesnoth. This was another multiplayer game. Now, I did not take part in this game. Wesnoth, because it's an open source indie game, it's not always consistent when it comes to being able to get an online multiplayer game when you like. Sometimes I have no problem. I can get a few games in, and it's pretty easy. Other times it might be like days before I can even get a good game. For the last few days, I've been trying to get some games in, but it's been pretty difficult to have a game that was actually like interesting. Either the game would be quite short and just not very fun to like talk about, or someone would leave pretty early, or they would quit in the middle, and it was always a mess. Or that I'd just be waiting forever to actually get a game in. So what I would end up doing is just observing a few games, just to kind of, I don't know, I was a bit bored. I wanted to watch what people are doing. And this was a pretty interesting game. This was a 5-player free-for-all match. And I don't really know any of these players, so I can't really comment on their history or anything like that. But I'll quickly introduce them. First, in the red, we have Sean TT, playing as Doomfolk. In the purple, we have Ataka5 playing as the Elves in purple. In the middle, we have, in the white, Adamantia playing as the Drakes. In the bottom left, we have, in blue, another player playing Doomfolk, JDMP. And in the bottom right, we have Kaiser Wilhelm in the green playing as Loyalists. So I did see the end of this game. I didn't actually watch from the very beginning. I just kind of watched from kind of to the mid to late game to see the ending. So I do know how it ends, but I won't spoil it in advance. But I would like to see how the game played out, because the ending was pretty interesting. And I was a little bit surprised by what happened. I will tell you that the ending was a little bit, actually was pretty interesting. So I won't tell you much about it, but let's continue the game anyways. Let's go through the turns first. Let's play side by side. So I'll put it by teams first, just so we can get a good view. I will switch between Fog of War on and off, just so we can see what's happening. But I saw some comments on previous Wesnoth videos I've made that people like to see with the Fog of War, because it's a little bit more interesting to see what each player is seeing. But I will turn it on and off as I go on. Let's just see the different turns first. Alright, so here we see turn 1, and we can see a few things that he's done in the meantime. He decided to capture one village, and aside from that, we take a look at the units he summoned. He summoned a Nega Dirkfang, which I think is a good idea on this map. There's quite a lot of water, especially this big lake in the middle, so having something to be able to at least access this lake and control it a little bit is useful. One Dune Rider, which again, considering how open and flat this map is, that would be a good choice. The rest of them seem to be a Skirmisher, a Dune Burner, a Dune Herbalist, a Dune Rover, and a Dune Soldier. So he's basically got a whole range of all the Dune Folk units. Is he missing any units? I think he got almost everything. I'm not sure if he's missing any. So I think he decided to go for like basically one of everything. I don't know if that's the best choice. I think getting the Dune Soldiers are good, but I think in the early game like this, I would prefer to get a few more mobile units. I probably wouldn't even bother with the Dune Burner. Maybe get one Apothecary, one Herbalist, and then a couple maybe Dune Rovers or Dune Skirmishers, and maybe a Dune Rider. And I think one Naga is fine. Maybe even 2 Nagas might be good, but I think one Naga is fine. I probably would replace this Dune Soldier and this Dune Burner for the first turn with maybe another Dune Rover or a Skirmisher. Maybe 2 Dune Rovers and maybe 1 more Naga, or even 3 Dune Rovers might be a good idea. Just because they're pretty generically useful, and if I didn't know who my enemies were, I would like something that's just kind of generally good. Like I said, even 2 Nagas might be okay too, because then you could really dominate this middle lake area and help you capture a lot of these little villages near the lake. That would be pretty useful, and help you control this area of the map. Since his enemies are mostly in the south here, white in the middle, and then green over here, it would be good to kind of control the water in this area. But either way, that's fine. Let's go to the next turn. Alright, so here we are on to player 2 in the red, and we'll take a look at what he decided to summon. So a lot of the same kind of things as the last Dunefolk player, basically one of each of his units. Again, same kind of comment as before. I mean, I guess it's fine. If you're not really sure who you're fighting against, it's good to have a good variety, because all of these are good regardless, and if you're only getting one, it's not really a big investment. But I don't know, I kind of prefer to get at least double up of one of the units, especially one of the generic units like Dune Rover, but it doesn't really matter. I think for this kind of strategy, it's fine to get a good variety just to, cover everything that's possible. Either way, let's continue on to the next turn. Now we have the green player as the loyalists. First, he's summoning a horseman. Let's see what else he decides to go for. Alright, so again, a pretty wide spread of units. I think it seems like most of these guys are just getting a generic kind of unit spread, which, like I said, is fine. It gives you a lot of variety to deal with different situations, because you never know what's going to happen. So getting a lot of different units that can cover basically all your bases is fine. And like I said, none of these units are necessarily bad. Probably later in the game, it would be good to adjust your strategy depending on what you see. But let's continue on here to the next player. Okay, he captures this fort here. Next player is going to be in the purple as the rebels. Let's see what he decides to go for. Again, a pretty generic mix of units. Elvish Fighter, Elvish Scout, a Woes, a Mage here, a Merman Hunter, and an Elvish Archer. So again, very generic kind of spread of units. And an Elvish Shaman. And then capturing a village here. So again, it seems like all these guys are mostly interested in just getting a generic grouping of units. Like I said, there's not really any problem with that. It just, it gives you a lot of flexibility. Let's see what the Sauron guy summons. So a Drake Glider, a Sauron Skirmisher, so again, this guy's going for the same idea, just getting one of each of his units. 3 of the Drake units, and then 2 of the Sauron units. The Sauron Skirmisher and the Sauron Augur. The Augur is the Sauron healer. The Skirmisher is just a very cheap light unit. And really the Drakes are the big hitters for this faction too. They're very expensive, but they're very powerful. Drakes are a good faction if you want to play... I don't know if I call them a glass cannon, but they're very tough units, but they're also very easy to counter if you can counter them. But again, that's kind of how you play them. But let's continue on to the next turn. So moving on to the blue team, you can see that he moves out his horsemen to gather another fort here. And into the water as well. Now again, nothing much to say about this, just capturing some nearby fortresses, moving out his main group of army with his burner, apothecary, as well as the soldier and the rover. So this is a good little team to be able to move out and project some power, especially into the north. Now, I'm not sure what I would say to do would be best. This is a pretty tough terrain moving up to the Sauron capital, a lot of forests and swamps in this area, though there is a small stretch of sand, so perhaps using this area, because Dunefolk move quite fast in sand and defend very well there, using this to kind of capture these areas on the far left side of the map and maybe moving up to kind of control this area might be a good option, as well as kind of dominating this area in the south as well. So that would be a pretty good option for him. Let's go see the next player. Red team, the other Dunefolk player. Now, he tries to capture quite a lot of territory on this first turn. So this other Dunefolk player, he only has 2 villages by his second turn. The one he captured on the first turn with his leader, and the second one captured by this Dune Rider. But this seems to be a random map. There's not really that even spacing for all the factions. Maybe he could have gotten one of these in the first turn. I don't know. It seems a little bit hard for him to capture much beyond just these 2 in one turn. Though I bet he could have probably put a bit more effort to grab this one if possible. Definitely it seems like this red player has a lot more villages within easy access since he's able to capture 3 on his first turn. But let's continue on here. He has a big force moving south. All these units pushing south along with the Nagadirkfang is going to be very hard for any of these southern factions to really deal with. Let's move on to the next player in green. Okay, again, green captures another 2 villages. This one further to the north. This is where this cavalry comes to be an advantage, being able to get out on the map very quickly and capture all these villages. I always love using cavalry units. Cavalry and any kind of highly mobile units are really, really useful. That's a big reason why I love playing as the rebel faction, the elf faction. A big army in the south here as well with his other cavalrymen. or sorry, this is the cavalryman, this is the horseman, his mage, his bowman, and his spearman. This is a pretty strong force that'll be able to deal with the Dune Rovers. I don't know if these Dune Rovers would be able to cope with this, because it seems like their main force is going north. So it seems like green is going to be pushing on to the left side of the map rather than also going north. As for red, it seems like he's moving south, but there is the issue of white in the middle, who's going to be a big roadblock for red if he wants to go anywhere else. Let's see the next turn. All right, so we can see here, again, capturing a few other forts on this turn. 1, 2, 3 forts on this turn. So combined with the one he captured initially, that's 4 forts for purple, which is quite a lot for one turn. And again, a big force moving south. I imagine this area in the center here around White's castle is going to be a very big battle zone, because you have red going south, you have purple going south along the side here, you have blue seemingly moving north and to the right, a little bit northeast, and green is going to be just going directly west. So it's going to be a big battle around here between purple, I imagine white as well, and maybe even blue will get involved. Let's see how things continue. You can see here, white gets the first blood of the game. And this is a good example of how powerful the Drakes can be. Because they're so mobile, all their Drake units are flying, and they're extremely mobile. They can cover a huge area of the map very easily, and they're really, really powerful. Oh, looks like someone quit. Side 4. Who is side 4? I believe that is the purple team, right? So it seems like purple decided to quit right away. Or was that green? I don't know. Whoever is side 4, I believe, is... yeah, side 3 is green, Kaiser Wilhelm. I believe side 4 is purple, so it seems like purple decided to quit immediately, which is unfortunate. So I guess after losing this one fort, purple decided to peace out of the game, which is a little bit silly. Like, he's not in that bad a position. He had a really good first turn. He captured a bunch of forts. He just lost one unit. Like, that's not really a big deal. White has a very strong position here. He immediately moved out, cut off purple, and also moved one of his Sauron units out to the north here to push a little bit into here and kind of harass them a little bit. Saurons are really good harassing units because they're so mobile and they're very strong. They can do a lot of damage and get in and out of situations very quickly. So let's continue on to the next turn. Okay, Ataka takes control of side 4, so I guess they gave the purple team to Ataka, who is the white player. It's a little bit odd, to be honest. Oh, sorry, Ataka, who is Ataka? I think Ataka is the blue player, I believe. I'm not really sure who's who. But let's continue on anyways. Yeah, so that's a little bit odd. We can see what blue has done in the meantime. Blue's moved out to capture this fort, and he's pivoted around. I guess he's seen that green is mobilizing over here, so he decided to move this force that was going north towards the east, and moving his forces out here. He has this force crossing the river. I guess he didn't decide to move his Nagadurkfang. I guess this is a good position to defend, defending this river area and possibly moving out into the lake to the north. So I guess it's fine if he just wants to keep it on patrol here. It is good to keep the Nagas in the water, especially while they're only level 1. Once they level up, they can be a bit more useful on land. But level 1 Nagas, or even like mermen, it's good to keep them in the water just because that's where they have the best defenses. They can shine the best. Let's continue the next turn here. This is the red player, Scene TT. Moving out basically in every direction, so this is a little bit odd. He's moving a few units over here. His Naga is going over here, and his Dune Burner. I don't really like this Dune Burner being totally unaccompanied. Dune Burners are quite strong, but they're not good on defense, really. Like, they don't defend that well. They just have like a mace attack to defend themselves. They're really good like mages. They're really good at clearing out locations. They're a little bit better at defense than mages are, but they're not that great. So I don't really like this being out here by itself, especially since purple has a lot of forces over here. He does have the Nagadirkfang nearby to support, but it would have been better to send the Dune Burner maybe either to defend a village or to the south with these other units here. But whatever, that's fine. Even a Nagadirkfang in this water could probably defend this area quite well. Let's continue the next turn. Green player over here. Okay, green player making a strong push to the west over here. I guess he's seeing what blue is doing, and he's making a very concise push into this forest area, hopefully to give some good defense and maybe to be able to strike out if these Dune folk, the blue player, crosses over to this flat plain area. Loyalists do really well on open flat plains, so a lot of his units, especially the horsemen and the spearmen units, are going to be able to chew up any any attack that blue is doing. Okay, Jadam takes control of side 3. So Kaiser Wilhelm just left the game as well, unfortunately. So basically, this 5-player game has turned very quickly into a 3-player game. I'm not sure who are the players still left. I believe just blue, red, and white as the only players still remaining. So this is the big problem playing with Wesnoth. You have a lot of non-committal behavior when it comes to people actually playing the games. But whatever, we'll continue the game anyways. Let's continue to the next turn. Okay, so we have a pretty good push by the purple player. Again, I'm not entirely sure who's playing each player at this moment, because blue player is JDMP, purple is Atakas. Kaiser Wilhelm just left. I thought someone took control of side 4. Maybe this player just left for a minute and then came back. It's a little bit odd. So only Kaiser Wilhelm left the game. So I guess only this player, the green player, is actually out of the game. The purple player is still playing, so that's my mistake. I was just misunderstanding what it was saying here. Maybe the Ataka, whoever Ataka 5 was, he was out of the game for a moment and then came back in for whatever reason. Because I see that he's playing currently. So he's kind of pushing back on the Saurons here, and I really don't like this position he's in. This is a really bad position. His woes is totally open, and woes are terrible against fire. So these drakes are just going to tear up that woes. These archers, the soldiers being in the open is a really bad choice. I don't know why he decided to confront these drakes in the open here. For one, they hold the village, which gives them a big defense bonus. And even out in the open, the drakes have pretty decent defenses, and they're just really strong in general. They're much stronger than the elves are in the open. It would have been better here, since he lost this village, to not push it immediately. I think the best choice would have been to maybe fall back to this forest area instead. Maybe try to make a little bit of a defense in this forest area, and try to use these units that are over here, or maybe even move some units around this lake area here to try to contest these forests north of White's castle area, because I really don't like trying to fight over this village in the middle, and I think purple most likely is going to get cleaned up here. His units are quite weak, and he's got a numbers disadvantage against the drakes, which is already pretty bad. But let's continue on. What's the next turn? So I think drakes are going to clean this up. Like, this woes is a really bad position, terrible defense, and I think he's just going to die right here. Like, yeah, that's a big waste of that woes, which is too bad. I think a lot of these guys are going to die. This guy might die right here. Yeah, 2 units lost, maybe even losing this one as well. So he doesn't lose it, but he lost 2 units there for really no reason. And this mage totally exposed as well. Very, very bad positioning. Ooh, he might actually lose this archer. Oh, I guess not, but still, that's a bad position. Look, he went from 4 units down to 2. This soldier is probably going to die unless he can get out of here, and I don't think he can move out fast enough anywhere to really heal up quickly. This shaman also can't defend herself by, like, alone. And even this mage is exposed sitting here, so I think purple really fucked himself over. I don't really know what he was thinking trying to contest this village. It was good for him to capture the village initially, but once he lost it, I think the best option would be just to give up on this area and pull back to defending. Like I said, this forest is a good defensive line for a rebel player, and the best choice would have been to either use this forest around his castle to defend his kind of home village, as well as this forward forest to make a forward defense line, and then maybe move around this lake area to contest these forests. Again, rebels really want to use forests as much as possible, so using that and trying to be more mobile, not trying to have a big stand-up fight against the drakes is a good choice. So that was a pretty bad option. Oh, it looks like Kaiser Wilhelm came back. So Kaiser Wilhelm left the game, and then he came back to the game. So I guess he is back to the game. So that's a little bit odd, but I guess he is still playing. So let's continue. All right, so let's take a look at the blue player. So basically no one has left the game yet. Blue is moving into the south here, trying to control this little hard point where they have one small fort and a few bridges. This is a good point for him. He's taking control of this this village as well. Having this castle and dominating the bridge here is a really good defensive position. I think if I were him, I would try to hold in this area and wait a little bit to push out, because between here and these nearby forts and I guess these villages, there's really no other easy area to defend for him. The other good area would be the sandy area. I'd maybe move some units, maybe for example the Dune Rover or the Dune Soldier. The Dune Soldier is pretty good here. Maybe I would move the Dune Soldier to the sandy area and then the Dune Rover to this village. Dune Rovers are really good at defending villages because they have both a ranged and a melee attack. So I'd probably leave the Dune Rover in this village, bring the Dune Soldier to the sand, and maybe move the Negadurkfang into this river. I wouldn't probably not keep him on the bridge. Maybe leave him in the river area. Maybe put the Dune Burner in the fortress and move the Dune Apothecary to kind of support these two, the Soldier and the Rover up here. Maybe even bringing his leader out here to defend a little bit would be good, but probably holding this middle area, holding the river and holding this fort in the south, holding this sandy area in the middle would be a good position to kind of force a confrontation with Green. Green is moving out with a really big force. I think he really needs to be defensive, choke down or cut down this force a little bit, and then push out, because there's not really any other positions from here onward to move to. Like, it's a long stretch of open land to get to the next kind of defendable position, which is really behind Green's fortress here. Green doesn't have many villages nearby, but he does have a very good defensive position for these two villages because they're both basically behind his main fort and very easy to defend from the fort. But let's continue on here. Next player. Look at the red player here. I like this red player's positioning. He's in a very nice defensive position. You can see out of all the players in the map, he's basically controlling the largest area of the map. He has his forces spread out all the way from the north up here, a fairly sizable force in the center, and then this skirmisher moving south through the mountains here. I guess he forgot to move him. I don't know why he's leaving him in the mountains here. I would have tried to move him out a little bit, maybe try to get him around the mountains to this kind of hilly area and being able to strike down south, maybe capture some of these villages from under Green's nose a little bit. But I quite like this defensive position. He's got his Negadurkfang in the water here, kind of contesting it with purple, and also the Dune Burner in a good defensive position. I prefer it in defense rather than attack. I think Dune Burner attacking alone is not really good, but defending a village is a little bit better. All right, let's continue. Okay, Green spreading out a little bit. You know what? I actually kind of like this from Green. He's keeping this forest as a very strong defensive position, and he's not taking the fight to Blue, which is good because I don't think he could fight Blue in this position. Blue's in a very strong position right here. It's better to force Blue to come out to the open and either fight him in this forest where he's very well defended, or come out in the open where Green can easily strike him. So I can see he's moving these units north. This is good to contest the north a little bit, as well as perhaps if Blue decides to move in, come back down and strike down this area. I would even consider moving this horseman south as well to kind of defend this area a little bit, and keeping this merman in this village to defend, because then he can defend the village as well as move out into the lake to attack some things if needed. Let's move on to the next player. Okay, purple here trying to fight white in the middle. I don't know if that's a good idea. I really don't like this maneuvering from purple, honestly. This is... yeah, he's just going to lose all his units for no reason. So all of purple's units either very, very weak or dead. He lost that soldier for basically no reason. I would have pulled that back immediately. And trying to fight white here is also really bad. He did get this Drake Clasher very low, but losing a mage I think is a little bit worse. And he didn't even kill the Drake Clasher. So now this mage is for sure going to die. Now he's going to be stuck with just like a merman here. A merman on the land is very vulnerable. I would have kept this merman in the water to defend against red, but now I think purple's going to get wiped out. I don't know what purple can really do in this situation. I think white's going to really easily steamroll him. Yeah, there he goes. And he allowed white to evolve, level up one of his units. And again, losing that mage there. This weak Drake Clasher is able to move out, and now purple really has nothing at all. He has nothing defending himself. White is just moving in and taking all his villages, and white can very easily reevaluate his defensive position and move his units back to defend against red. Since basically white controls this whole upper corner of the map now. Purple has no way to fight this. He has 2 units left. He has this one merman who's going to get killed, most likely, and his commander who's been sitting here forever and not doing anything. He's sitting on tons of gold. I would be recruiting something at this point, but I don't know what purple's really doing. Let's see the next player. Okay, a new round of recruitment coming from blue. Okay, let's take a look at blue's turn. So we recruited a lot of new units. Another round of basically every single unit. Again, I would probably try to specialize a little bit more since I'm facing off on the loyalists. Maybe going with a few more of the bigger attacking units would be good to kind of counter them. Or even the Dune Rovers, since again, they have 2 good attacks. I might not even bother with the Skirmisher. I might get 2 Dune Rovers instead of a Skirmisher here. And then keeping the rest of them the same, I guess is fine. I don't know if he needs another apothecary. I mean, he has 1 apothecary now. Getting like another one is a bit overkill. Dune Burner is pretty good to clear up these heavily defended areas. But 2 apothecaries, I don't know, might be a little bit overkill. I guess is fine. I think I also... maybe a rider's fine as well to get a bit more mobility. I don't really know what to say about it. He's not really using his riders very much. His rider's right here, not doing anything. So I don't know how I feel about this recruitment of just recruiting everything every single turn. But, you know, whatever. It's working out. He's also doing kind of exactly what I mentioned, creating a very strong defensive line in the south along these kind of village, the fort, and the sandy area. And kind of really defending this area, kind of forcing a showdown with green. Green really well defended in his forest. Blue really well defended in the sand, as well as these fortifications here. And of course, blue is going to have another wave of reinforcements coming over here to dominate green if green can't do something about it. Let's see the next turn. Okay, another wave of recruitment for red and no movement. So I guess red just wants to stay on the defensive and see what's happening. But another wave of recruitment here, and it looks like he decided to go with the same thing as blue did, just recruit 1 of every single unit. And same thing I just said before, I probably would try to cater this a little bit more. I don't know if I would get a skirmisher. I don't know if I would say skirmishers are really great against any of these units. Skirmishers are good, I guess, for hunting down mages and dealing with those kind of units that are a little bit squishy and you want to kind of move around the map. But I don't know. I mean, this is fine. I guess it doesn't really matter. But let's continue on. Nothing much to say about Red's turn since he didn't really do anything. Good move by Green here. I do like moving this cavalry down to quickly attack. And using the mage on the heavily defended Dune Soldier is a good idea. Dune Soldiers defend quite well in the sand. So he's decided to take this battle, basically, that blue has presented. Blue presented him with a battle opportunity, and green has decided to accept it. He's moving a lot of his units in here. He moved this He decided to move his fencer back, I guess, because this is not really much of a frontline unit. Fencers are a bit of a skirmisher, so they're good to keep around. They can maneuver around big groups of enemies a little bit well, but they're good in the rear. They're not really good as a frontline unit. He decided to move his units out here and again take this battle. I do like, as I said, moving this cavalryman way to the south. Having these guys up here allows them to kind of move in wherever they need to be, rather than being stuck in the forest here where they can't move that much. So allowing him to run down here and kind of cut Blue's forces in half. He's cut off this Dune Burner, and this Dune Soldier is also a little bit cut off as well. So he's kind of isolated these two, which is a very good move, while keeping all his units fairly well aligned. And even moving his commander out to come support, which is a good idea. He did some recruitment as well. Another merman, another mage, another fencer, another heavy infantry, and another horseman. So I think these are all good choices against the Dune folk. The mage and the merman will allow them to contest the water a little bit. Or sorry, the mage will allow him to deal with these heavily defended areas. The merman will allow him to contest the water a little bit better. The heavy infantry is good, kind of counter to these Dune soldiers, since they're both very heavy units. The heavy infantry has a lot of defense, so he will be able to deal with the large attack of this. And plus he has, I believe he has a good resistance to slash effects, right? Yeah, huge resistance to slash and pierce. And a good thing about that is most of the Dune folks' attacks are slash and pierce attacks. So getting more of these heavy infantry is quite good. The horsemen as well just gives that maneuverability and ability to kind of attack exposed units. Let's continue to the next team. Purple is in a very bad position. I don't know what Purple is doing here. He decided to go for another round of just recruiting every single unit. Okay, so not much going on here. He decided to finally figure out that his commander is here and recruit some units. So he went with another round of recruiting one of everything. Considering he's really getting beaten up by the Drakes, I really don't like this. I don't know. I would probably try to get more defensive focused units. He's really getting pushed in right now. I would try to get some units that can really defend these forests, mainly the shamans to heal, a few of the soldiers, the elfish fighters, and maybe some archers. And a mage would be good too to deal with some of these units. I don't think I would bother getting an elvish scout or even a merman at this moment. Maybe one merman to send him out a little bit, but I would probably replace this woes as well. I think is a terrible idea. Woes are awful against the fire-breathing Drake, so I would not bother with this woes. I don't think I would bother with the scout. I'd probably get maybe one shaman, one or two shamans, maybe two fighters and two archers. So replace this scout with a fighter, replace this woes with another archer, maybe replace the merman with shaman, or maybe keep the merman and the mage. I don't know. These two I don't really care as much about. I think the woes is a bad idea. I don't know why he got a woes. But let's continue on here, because woes is just going to die very quickly to the fire breath. Let's see how white deals with this. So I think this merman might die right here. He's pretty well defended in the water, but he's also isolated, and he doesn't have much to defend himself. And I think these drakes can pretty easily kill him out of here if they need to. Yeah, just the sheer amount of attacks these guys get is a little bit overwhelming. And yeah, there we go. So Purple has absolutely nothing in the field right now. He has a bunch of units in his fort, but I feel like the units he's chosen are just like very random. I don't know why he's just choosing one of everything. It seems like a little bit thoughtless. I don't know why all of them are just choosing one of everything. I guess maybe it's a strategy I'm not keen on, but I feel like once you know what you're facing, you should try to choose something that suits it. Really getting this woes, I think, is a terrible idea. I don't know why you got a woes. That really irks me. White is in such a good position right now. He's taken off, basically he's pushed Purple back, where Purple basically has nothing. Purple has no control over anywhere on the map. He's just stuck in this little corner with this fort. White could very easily take this village here if he wanted to. White has a good, strong position here on the other side of this lake, basically blocking Purple the access to this forest. So what I recommended was Purple trying to get around and try to contest this forest north of White's fort, and also contest this forest. I think that option is gone now. This area is quite well defended, and this Drake is going to heal up. White's main force in the middle here is also kind of holding this area quite well, defending against a possible attack from red, but also denying Purple the ability to push out here. So Purple really, I think his only option is to take back this village and try to control this little corner as best as possible, and really hope that white and red get in a fight, and then maybe try to take advantage of that later, because I think purple is not going to be able to do much at the moment. Let's continue to the next turn. This is blue's turn here. Blue counter-attacking green. Blue's still in quite a good defensive position. He's got a nice defensive line here, and he's got his apothecary as well to help heal up his units. And they did take out one of green's units, which is nice. Surrounding this archer and breaking through green's line is a very good position for him. Moving out some of his other units is good. Yeah. Blue is being very tightly controlled with his units. He has a nice force here, a good position, totally surrounding this line of green here. All this green line is totally surrounded, and he's got a few apothecaries here. He's got one apothecary and another apothecary somewhere in the back, but this apothecary will be able to heal up the nearby units. It would be good to get him in the back. I don't like him being exposed here. Maybe if it's possible, pull him back, but I know he's attacking with them. But definitely in a very good position where green is not in a nice position. He's also got this merman a little bit in the corner as well. Now the merman can escape, but he's kind of denying the merman the ability to contest this village, which is good. Using the Dirk Fang to contest the lake is a good idea. Since blue basically has control of this river, it would be good to push out the lake and really start to try to dominate it a little bit. Let's move on to the next player. This red team. See if red actually does anything this turn. Alright, so red just seems content to defend, basically. He's not really doing anything. He hasn't done anything this whole game yet. Just defending this kind of chunk of the map, I guess. From this mountain range to this waterway, he's basically just lining up his army and kind of seeing what's happening, which I don't think is a bad idea. I mean, it shows he's trying to be observant, I guess, and see what's going on before he actually decides to do anything, which is fine. You know, if someone makes a mistake, it would be easy for him to move in. To be honest, it would be a good time for him to move in and attack white. If I was him and I knew what was going on, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't really know what he knows. Let's actually see. I don't know if I can see his point of view now, because I'm currently on which player? Green player at the moment. It's a little bit unfortunate I can't switch between each player's point of view. It would be nice to kind of see what they see without having to go back a turn, you know, but that's fine. So we can see he's not totally aware of what's going on with purple, but he could see white. It might be a good time to move against white. So I guess it is good that white is here, kind of projecting strength at the front. So it gives red a second thought before actually moving in, because really only this small area is easily viable for him to attack white, and white can put the most of his strength here to defend it while keeping just a few units to harass purple in the rear. Alright, let's continue on. Let's see green's turn now. Green's in a little bit of a rough position. He's kind of got cornered here, and he could lose this army if he doesn't pull back. I think the best option for him would be to pull back a little bit if possible. I don't even know if he can pull back. He's really, really surrounded here, and a lot of these units can't even move. Like, this mage and this archer might get killed here. I wonder if it'd be a better idea to move out and try to reform the position along these hills and along the forest. I think trying to move out and take battle against blue maybe was a bad idea. It would have been better to stay in the hills and the forest and try to make a good position from there. Maybe keep a few of the horsemen in the north and try to wait for blue to move out a little bit further. Probably attacking blue in the middle here of these roads would have been better than attacking him close to the river, which is looking like it's not working out that well. Able to kill that Dune soldier, so nice. He was able to heal up this archer by leveling up a little bit. Maybe he can break out of this encirclement. Okay, so not bad. He killed off 2 units. So this encirclement is already broken down, so I kind of take back what I said. He's doing quite well for himself. 3 units there, so really breaking a lot of blue's forces. 4 units, wow. So maybe not so bad. I shouldn't be criticizing green so much. Green definitely had a stronger position than I thought. So now Blue's line is totally collapsed at this point. He does have a big force along the river here, but maybe Blue should really stick to the river and not try to push onto this side of the river over here. Maybe just try to hold this village as much as possible, but try to make a good defensive position along these bridges and along this village right here, because it looks like Green is got a nice kind of army ball going, and Blue's position here has totally collapsed. He doesn't really have much defending, so unfortunate for him, but really good job for Green. Let's move on to the next player. Purple is taking back this village, and again trying to contest this village. I don't know what he's doing here. This is really bad. Like, what is he doing? Oh my god, what is he doing here? I don't know what Purple's doing. Purple just wants to die. Purple seems to be just throwing units away. He got this Woes defending, which is fine, I guess. He's okay defending. I'd rather have a unit that has a range attack defending, though. But just sending these Elven units out in the open is so, like, wasteful. Like, these guys are just going to die. This rider is going to die for sure. Sending a rider out here is really silly. I don't know why. I would have put him in the forest, maybe, so he can defend a little bit, and then maybe run him around the back to capture some of these villages in the south from Blue, or even from White. So, I don't know. I think Purple is just, like, going to get creamed here. He's going to get cleaned up by White's forces. White's going to move his commander probably back to the fort here, and recruit a few units, and then make a defensive line with Red, and probably just wipe out all of Purple's forces. But let's continue, see what White does. Yeah, so he's going to come back here, recruit a few more units, and probably wipe out these. Yeah, there they go. There goes that archer just sitting in the open here. And this Woes, again, the Woes can't do anything. He has no range attack. So this Drake, Fire Drake, could just, like, burn him to death. And this Mage is sitting in the open. Awful. Allowing this little Saurian to level up. Yeah, unfortunate. Purple is just going to lose all of this again. Like, I don't know what Purple's doing. He's not taking any defensive positions. He's just fighting on the grassland, which is awful for Rebels. So I don't know what he's doing. White is playing an excellent game here. White is really, really keeping control here. He's having a good defensive position. He's not ignoring his defenses over here. I mean, holding his fort is already a good defensive position. I think he doesn't really need to have his units spread out. As long as he has a few units around his fort here, he can really easily defend this pass from Red, and keeping the rest of his army out in the west to push on Purple. I think this force he has is more than enough to deal with Purple. Purple seems to have no concept of defending or, I don't know, using the forest terrain. So I think White is going to wipe this out really easily. Let's continue to the next turn. This is Blue turn. See how Blue responds to this push by Green. Okay, Green might lose this Mage. Yeah, he loses Mage here. And losing this Merman. This is an interesting line here. I like this battle between Blue and Green. It's a very, like, big stand-up battle with nice lines being built. Again, Blue reestablishing his line here, a much stronger line this time, with the apothecaries in the back to heal. He has one apothecary. Does he have another apothecary? I don't think so. But one is pretty good. It'll heal up all these units around here. He's got his commander moving forward as well. That'll help give some leadership bonus. I believe this guy gives a leadership bonus, right? I don't know if he does. Does he? Perhaps not. I thought he would, but maybe he doesn't. But that doesn't really matter. Again, good defensive position here. He took out a few of Green's units. Now, not as many units as Green took out previously. So we'll see if Green can respond to this. He has his commander pretty far from his fort. So Green will not be able to recruit that many units within a quick turn. But it's the same for Blue. So if they can kind of reestablish this line up here, he could be able to take out a few of Blue's units and maybe break Blue's line. But I don't know. Blue's line right here looks much, much stronger than Green's at the moment. Let's see Red. Will Red actually do anything this turn? Oh, Red moving on to Green, taking one of Green's little villages. So that's the first movement we've seen from Green, or sorry, from Red. Red has so far really done nothing. Just do nothing and win, I guess. Not saying that Red wins the game, but kind because that's, I won't say anything what happens. But again, red's taking the Xi Jinping approach, I guess. Just do nothing and hope you win the game. Because he's just kind of like taking good positioning. He's playing a very positional game and not moving those positions very much. Let's see, the next player, green. How does green respond to blue's attack? Okay, getting his mage commander out here to kind of clean this up a little bit. Ooh, okay, pretty good. Cleaning up this and breaking up the line again. Reestablishing a very strong defensive line. And oh, blue's commander looks very vulnerable right now. I do not like that for blue. If his commander dies, he's out of the game. Good going after this Dirkfang with the heavy infantry, because the Dirkfang only has blade attacks, and they really don't affect the heavy infantry that well. So this is pretty good. Green did a good job reestablishing himself. He's cut off this Dirkfang again. After the Dirkfang cut off his previous merman, he used his other merman to come around and cut him off, along with this heavy infantry on the land. So this Dirkfang most likely will die unless it can escape somehow. Moving his commander out of there is good, so he can move his commander out next turn and maybe recruit some more units. And again, reestablishing a very strong defensive line. The only problem is a lot of these units are quite weak, and he doesn't have any healing. Meanwhile, blue does have a healer right here to actually heal up a few of these units, like his commander and his soldier right here. Let's see the next player. This is purple team. Purple, I don't know what purple's doing here. Maybe take out this Drake, but I kind of doubt it. Close? Maybe. Maybe we'll see. He might take it out. Ugh, bad luck. Bad luck there. If he would have gotten that Drake, that might have been good, but not being able to take it out is really shameful. Really bad. Bringing his commander out here to deal with this Fire Drake. Again, I don't think it's going to work out. Okay, so purple is... I don't know. He did use this scout to maneuver around and take this fort, but I think it really doesn't matter. I think these two are so weak. They're so weak right now. I think these Drakes, along with what white has just recruited, are going to be really easily just wipe this out. I think this was a kind of forced, very pathetic push, and I don't think it's going to amount to very much, to be honest. So I don't know what purple's doing. Purple has really bad positioning everywhere. This area, again, this Woes, this Mage are super weak. His commander's out in the open, just totally open, and also quite weak. White has a big force here. His commander's safe at home, nice and healed up. And this force is going to go out, and I think he doesn't even need to send these forces out to wipe out purple, to be honest. But let's see. What does white do? White's game is the most interesting so far. White and this confrontation between blue and green in the south. And oh, this vulnerable Drake leveled up by killing that unit. And another level up here. White has a lot of high-level units. And is he going to take out purple's commander? He might. Ooh, he might take out his commander right here. Yeah, he did. There it goes. And leveled up this unit. White has a lot of level 2 units. So purple is done. Purple is done. No commander means no more recruits, and he's out of the game. I don't think they lose instantly when they lose their commander. Sometimes it is, but I don't know what the settings for this game are. But yeah, purple is done. Purple's out of the game. Very shameful game from purple, to be honest. Like, I don't know what the heck he was doing. White is playing a great game, but I don't know. Like, purple is really doing nothing this whole game, so... I consider him being like a non-player, basically. Purple's just done. And white basically used purple's like bad play style to feed a bunch of his units to get a ton of level 2 units. Now white is going to be very strong. He's got tons of these upgraded units now that are going to be much harder for the other factions to deal with, especially red, who has basically done nothing. And now he's going to have to fight a lot of these level 2 and leveled up Drake units. And now the Drakes, the white team, has control of basically this whole north-west side of the map. So we'll see what response they have. Next scene, blue team. Okay. Oh, nice level up there. So being able to move this guy, this Drake out of, this Naga out of encirclement. Again, repositioning his units. Pretty nice. Breaking the green lines again. I still think blue here is in the much stronger position. Even though green's playing quite well, blue just has a much stronger position, and he has a healer here to support as well. Oh, he's going to lose his healer, maybe. Red still doing nothing. Like, red doing nothing. Red just sneaking around, being a sneaky guy. Jeez. Red making defensive line and really backstabbing green. Not that they're teammates or anything, but green now has only one village. He's losing his villages to red, who's basically done nothing this whole game but sneaking around back. And now I think green is going to lose all this. I don't know if green can respond to this without much money. Green doesn't really have any money. And I think green is going to be out of the game here, unfortunately, for green. So good counterattack. Green played quite well, but the okay, well, purple is just, I don't know what purple's doing. Purple's still in the game, but he's just done. Like, these are dead. And these two things are going to die right here. Yeah, so purple is officially out of the game. I think he has one merman left. This merman is just dead. Like, for sure, just going to die. I'm not going to comment too much about purple, because purple is just kind of, like, done, basically. This is white, just basically cleaning purple up. Right, taking all of purple's territory as well. And making some attacks on red, which is good. Moving into red's territory, really putting the pressure on. Alright, nice. Okay, white having a very strong position here. The whole northwest side of the map, as well as dominating the center. And if you could even move south, if you could send at least a small group south, like this group, I think he could really take the wind out of blue's game and really put blue in a very awful position. Now, green is already in an awful position, but if he could take some of these villages from blue, behind blue's nose, oh, that would be so sneaky. Like, doing what red is doing to green, if he could do that to blue, basically red and white could split the map in half, and I think blue would be in a very terrible position where it'd be very hard for him to respond to that. But let's see what they do. This is blue player. I think blue might wipe out green here. Yeah, took out green's commander. Unfortunately, green is out of the game, I think. Or not, I think. This is impossible for green to respond to. Green is done. So blue played a really good game down there. Basically, green is done. Green is out of this game. It basically is going to be blue in the south. Now, blue is still in a good position right now, but he really needs to shore up his defenses in the north here if he wants to continue playing, because all it takes, as I said, is for white to move a small force down here. He could capture a bunch of these villages, maybe even take up residence in this castle, and then it's going to be hard for blue to deal with that. Blue could come here and clean up what red has, or sorry, what green has. But that's going to put him in conflict with red. I think it would be better to kind of shore up his position, maybe take these positions here, try to kind of control the south, whole southern part of the map here, and then try to use that to move north against either white or red, depending what battle. It seems like white and red are going to have a big confrontation, so it's better just to try to control the south and pick his battle about who he wants to go fight. See the next turn, red. Looks like he has taken some battle to white. White might lose this one. Yeah, he lost this unit. And is red going to do anything else? I don't know. Again, just kind of repositioning. Okay, so red just repositioning across the map here. Okay, I actually clicked the play side turn. Let's continue on with what's going on here. So, red having a good control over basically half the map at this point, and red has basically done nothing the whole game. Blue, even though he beat green, he's lost access to green's resources, and now red has basically taken them without any effort. So, blue is in a position where I think he's a little bit vulnerable, to be honest. I don't know what he could really do here. Let's continue on with white team. White consolidating his control over the entire northern right corner of the map, or northern left corner of the map, and pushing out pretty strongly against red. And again, doing exactly what he said, sending a small group, just 1 or 2 units down south to kind of annoy blue a little bit, because blue is so spread out right now. I don't know what blue could really do to respond to this. Like, blue is in a position now where he's a little bit vulnerable. He just won a huge battle against green, and he's not going to be able to really get much benefit from that, I think. So, I don't know, you know. Red is doing pretty good. White is doing really well. White is just dominating this game so far. He's in the best positioning. He's pushing this force here. He's contesting this force in the middle. He's sending some forces south to kind of harass blue a little bit. Blue's commander is really, really weak. Blue's commander needs to heal up and recruit a little bit more, to be honest. Let's see what blue does. Blue's going to recruit here, which is good. What he should do is just try to consolidate the center here and then maybe defend the north a little bit. Getting this village back from this merman would be good as well. Okay, so again, I don't know. Blue went from a very strong position to a kind of weak position. Now he's just in this corner here and doesn't really have much. He has two villages, right? Just 2 villages, because he lost this one. Green still holds it, and red basically took everything from green. So basically red got the most benefit from blue's victory over green. So unfortunate for blue. I don't know if what blue can really do here. He's got to really come back and try to consolidate and hope that white and red fight it out, and then maybe he can come back and take some of this southern territory. Let's see, red's turn here. Recruiting a bit more. Okay, red trying to consolidate his control over the south, which is a good move. Okay, so we can see a few things happening. Because of the way the turns are going right now, it's a little bit annoying. I'm trying to do just 1 turn at a time, but it's playing like the entire turn because I guess some of these players are controlling multiple things right now. But we can see what's happened a little bit. So red has tried to consolidate his control over the south. Red's still controlling this area, but white is moving a very strong force in the middle here. And red doesn't really have much to respond to. He's got 2 Nagas in the water here, which is fine, but they're not really defending much, you know? I don't know what these Nagas would be doing. I would probably try to move them a little bit north and maybe try to contest this area while keeping a larger force in the center here to hold back against the Drakes. And maybe not even move these guys south. I think what he has in the south is enough to just control this area. Maybe move these 2 over here to contest with this group of Drakes. I don't know what red's doing. Red looks like he's getting ready to get split in half, basically. It seems like this really strong force of Drakes is going to move in, cut red in half, and it's going to leave the south totally vulnerable, and the north a little bit vulnerable as well. But let's see what happens next. Continue with white's turn. Okay, white might clean this up, and like I said, I think he's going to split red right in half, which is not good for red. Okay, yeah, these Nagas, again, not a good position, because they're just going to get beat up here. Okay, so let's see what happened there. So again, very strong force from white moving out. He's cut off a few of these forces. Red has a very small force here. Just in the open, not that well defended, and they're probably going to get cleaned up. These 2 Nagas are just in the water here. Again, not really good positioning. I would have probably preferred the Nagas to go around and maybe contest this northern area here. Try to push into purple's former territory. Maybe taking these units in the north with the 2 Nagas and trying to contest the territory from purple. That would be a good idea. White is pretty strongly moving. He's got a few units in the south here. Not really pushing on blue yet, but I think he very easily could if he wanted to. Just having there to defend is fine. His commander also here defending against a possible incursion from the water, which is a good move. And then red's still here in the south. Again, not really doing much. Red's just been very passive this whole game. Okay, let's see. Blue trying to move to control the center here, which is a good move. He should try to do that, at least to make sure he doesn't get pushed in from behind. Blue needs to really consolidate his position if he wants to compete. I think while white is attacking red, it would be a good time to attack red over in the south here. Try to consolidate the entire south under his own rule. Which seems like he's doing. It seems like he's trying to clean this area up from green's remaining forces, which is a good idea. Okay, let's see red's turn now. Red is still in its strong position, but incredibly weakening, I think. This southern area is just defending. I think it's a fine defense, but I think it would be better to pull these forces up into the middle and try to control the middle a little bit more. Maybe take this village from white and try to control this area, because this army from white is very scary, to be honest. But let's see what happens next. Okay, going after these drakes. He might kill this drake here. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, he did. That's pretty good. Okay, pulling back, which is a good idea. Try to consolidate his forces a little bit more with these new recruits. And maybe he'll recruit more. Let's see if he recruits any more. Okay. Moving those guys down south. I don't know if I agree with that. A very strong defensive line here. So this is not bad. Defending along the coastline here, along this waterway, and along these forests and villages. So this is a good defensive position to deal with white. Because like I said, it seems like white is going to just cut him in half. And that seems like what he's done. Though red, instead of trying to encircle this army from white here, he's decided to move a few units south and try to contest the south. So like I said, if white and blue could cooperate a little bit and try to contest the south as well, if blue can contest the south as well a little bit, this would be a good position to kind of defeat red. It forced red into a corner, while blue could strengthen himself, and white could obviously strengthen himself as well in his positions. But let's continue to see what's going on. Blue has decided to go and attack white, which I think is the wrong move. I think attacking white is the bad idea. It would have been good to take advantage of red while he's a bit weak, try to take these areas that he already basically won from green. Meanwhile, just having some defense here against white. White is not pushing on the south here anyways, so defending there would have been a good idea, and trying to push more on red here would have been a good option. Then he could have fought white later, but I don't know. I don't like this idea. Let's see what he does. Oh, this is the last green unit. Just one merman left. Okay. Just being an annoyance. I don't like when players are allowed to keep playing the game after they've lost their commander. It should be you're out of the game after you're out of the commander, but I guess these are the rules for this game. Let's see the white player now. Okay, let's see what he does. Okay, moving back to his fortress, maybe recruit later. Okay, moving in to try to piecemeal these forces that red has here. Getting these Nagas out of here is good because it can help remove this threat from the water. So if he can cut these Nagas off, that might be a good idea. So I think that's pretty nice that he's trying to do that. Again, just trying to create a better defensive line. Ooh, a lot of damage against these guys. These Dune soldiers are all really out in the open, so a little bit dangerous to be fighting the Saurons, because Saurons are very, very strong. They have a very powerful breath attack, and yeah, and these guys are not very well defended. And I don't think Red has any apothecaries, as he has 3 Dune burners. He has no healers here at all. Yeah, he doesn't have any healers, which is unfortunate. Dune folk should really be trying to level their easy healing. I don't know why he doesn't have any healers. He's got a bunch of Dune soldiers up here, but these guys are going to get chewed up bit by bit, and without any healing, they're going to be a little bit weak, and these Dune burners are not doing anything in the back here. So yeah, white making a nice defensive line, forcing red into a corner, while opening up the whole middle for this next force. So white has recruited a few more units. I think this force will be pretty good. He can send maybe 2 units out here to kind of, again, cut red's southern forces off, and the rest of them he can send over here to deal with blue. Probably just defend against blue. I don't know if we should be attacking blue. Let's continue. Next turn. Blue's team. Blue's totally pulling back from green's territory. Again, a little bit of a mistake, I think. Oh, he's pulling back from the north as well, which I think is a good move. I would not even bother going for the north if I was blue. I would try to focus on this territory from red. Like, take this back. He already beat green, and again, he got no benefits from that. So I think trying to take this back from red is blue's best shot, basically. Alright, so this is red here trying to deal with this force from white. Can he deal with it? I don't know. Not being very lucky with hits here. Getting the Doom Burners in there is a good idea, but the fire attacks are not great against the Saurians. And he's moving these southern forces up, which I think is a good idea. I think trying to control the southern area for red is not great, because if he keeps trying to do that, I think he's going to be in a bad position. Using these forces to kind of sandwich white in the middle is probably the best idea. Kind of losing the south, not really a big deal, and blue should take advantage of this to move in onto here, but he seems like he doesn't have any units that are available to actually take this right now. So again, just a mistake. I think blue should have at least kept a good defensive position in the middle, so he can move out against red, while keeping a good defensive position up here as well to defend if white decides to attack. So, I don't know. I think blue is missing some opportunities here, but again, he can't really see what's happening, so it's hard to say what he should and shouldn't do. Red, again, getting cut in half, but maybe he'll be able to encircle this white army and take it out. But we'll see what happens. The remaining green player just being an annoyance. Okay, let's see white here. White and red are the most interesting players in this game so far. Okay, white moving in. I think if I was white, I would try to move in most of these forces to deal with this reinforcement coming from red and cut that off. If you can get rid of all these southern forces and cut them off from defending, it would allow him to wipe out a lot of red's forces and again bottle them up in the corner. Yeah, very nice job taking out this village. I think he's going to be able to wipe this out. Yeah, he is. So he leveled up another unit to level 2. White has so many level 2 units. And I think he's going to be able to break this defensive line. He might be able to. Is he? Maybe. Oh, unlucky there. Oh, he did take it out. Nice. And again, reforming his line here. Pushing on these units. Red is losing a lot of units. Ooh, good attacks there. Just really focusing in on singular units. Whoever this white player is really knows how to play Wesnoth really well. You have to constantly be reforming your lines and focusing in on any peripheral units that are kind of exposed and taking them out with huge, massive units. So now white has another massive units in the center here that's going to move in. So basically red's counterattack has itself been counterattacked, and now red is going to get squished in here. Blue is again, I don't know what blue is doing. Let's see what blue does. Okay, blue is moving north again. Again, I think that's a little bit of a mistake. I would try to move east with more than just like one unit. I guess he only needs 1 or 2 units to come over here and contest this because red doesn't have much down here. But trying to have a bigger force in the south and just a defensive force here would probably be a much better idea, I think. But let's continue on. Let's see what red does to deal with this force here. Oh, nice upgrade. Okay. Trying to pick off a few of these units that are a little bit weak, which is good. Creating a better defensive line here and kind of trying to encircle these white units in the middle. Okay, almost. Was he able to get this one out? Unfortunately, no. So, very unlucky. This one Drake is still standing, just with a few HP left. He did take out one of them, though, which is nice. Not too bad. Still unable to break that army. And the fact that another big army from white is coming up, it's going to be very hard for red to deal with it. But he's getting a much better position. Very strong defensive position in this area. All these forests are going to make it really easy for him to defend here. So I don't know if white's going to be able to pop this. But we'll kind of see what's happening. I don't know what to say what's going to happen next. I think white is a very good player. And it seems like white is doing a very good job bottling up red. And we'll see what white kind of manages to do from here on out. Okay, green still somehow in the game. Okay, let's see what white does. Oh, unfortunate. Leveled up that guy. Ooh, level 2 Fire Drake, very powerful. Taking out this Dune Burner if he can, maybe. He might be able to take this one out. Yeah, this one's done for sure. There we go. So again, red, again, in a little bit of a bad position. White is just such a good at maneuvering, good at positioning. Like, he's playing such an amazing positional game. And every single turn able to piecemeal out red, to be honest. Like, he's picking off red again and again and taking such good terms against him. And even these drakes moving north to be able to peek, pop some of red's villages, perhaps, which will be a very good force for him. Okay, nice job from white there. Let's see what blue does. Blue is really the wild card here, because red is not doing well against white. White is consistently just able to chop red up. Every single time red counterattacks and does a pretty good job, white is just able to reestablish his position and counterattack even harder and take out far more units than red took out previously. So white is in a much better position. Red is looking like he might lose here, honestly. Blue right now is the wild card. Blue just has the whole half the map open for him if he can just seize it, if he wants to seize it, but he's so distracted by this one stupid green merman and really doing like nothing. I don't know what blue's doing here. Being very passive. Wasting time on these mermen. Okay, moving north a little bit, which is good. Doing something at least for blue. But again, not enough, I think. White is just so overwhelming right now. White has a lot of units. And where's his commander? His commander's way over here. If he can get his commander somewhere to recruit, maybe even come up to red's castle and recruit. That would be destructive. So destructive for red if white can get his commander into red's castle. Then he can recruit a ton of units here and just destroy red. I don't know what red could do about that. Red abandoning the south, which he should do. Oh, nice kill there for red. Ooh, he might kill this level 2 guy as well. Oh, he does. Very nice. So red is still holding on. Red is not doing bad, but he's just getting outplayed every turn by white. Like, he can counterattack pretty well, do a good counterattack, and be very effective. Get a few kills. 3 kills here. 2 level 2 units as well. But white, I think, is just more than capable of taking this position and turning it to his favor again. Every single turn he's been able to do that. Let's see, can he take out this other unit here? Ooh, really good. 4 units killed there. White may have to honestly retreat a little bit. Retreat back to the center area and recruit a little bit more. His commander, he definitely needs a few more units. He must have tons of gold because he controls a huge area of the map. Let's continue on to green being an annoyance again. Let's see white here. The most powerful thing that white has at the moment is these 2 oracles, the Sauron oracles, able to heal up this force every single turn really, really effectively, and it gives him a lot of staying power. It shows how powerful healing is in this game, and why I said red is very grossly mistaken for not getting any healers. Like, Dunefolk have great healers, the apothecaries are great healers because they can heal themselves as well, and they're not like so flimsy, they're quite strong in combat, so they're not like the elven shamans, which die very easily when they're attacked. But red, even though he's able to counterattack, he just loses so many units because he can't sustain himself, he can't heal himself up. And white, even though he's not recruiting anything right now, he's sending his commander back, so he's probably going to go recruit a bit more. But these 2 healers here are able to keep this force going for a long, long time, longer than they really should. And in a much stronger position here, red is still kind of all over the place. White is in a very nice position right here. Let's see blue's turn. I want to see what blue's doing. Blue is, uh-oh, he's moving into white's castle. Oh my god. Blue is pulling a sneak attack everywhere. Being a cheeky little bastard. Oof, that sucks for white. So blue took advantage of this battle against white. Now white doesn't have a castle to go to. He's totally blocked from his home castle. He could go up to purple's castle. That's a long way out of there. And in the meantime, he's still fighting red over here, who can easily return to his castle and recruit more. And blue is just kind of everywhere. Blue's spread out all over the place. Blue doesn't really have any army anywhere. I guess this is the biggest concentration right around the middle. But again, for only a few units, Sauron units, his commander and then this guy, this, what is this? Fire Drake, I think? Yeah, Drake Burner. These 2 units are not going to be able to fight like 4 or 5 units that blue can throw up here. So, ooh, blue's really turning the tide here, being a little bit sneaky. Let's continue the next turn, red turn. Red trying to take blue out, and oh, he got a little upgrade there, which is nice. Red is going to recruit more, so again, able to stabilize this. And he did get 1 apothecary, which is good, but I would have liked him to get more. He really needs at least 2 apothecaries, I think, to sustain this defense here. Ooh, killing an oracle is great. He might be able to push white back. I think the fact that white, even though these oracles are able to sustain white's push pretty well, white needs to recruit. White needs to get some recruits. And the fact that white lost his fortress to blue really sucks for him. So that may screw white over in this game, honestly. The fact that blue just is being a little bit cheeky and snuck in. Green just being annoying as well. Green may be controlled by AI at the moment. I don't really know, because it seems like he's just moving around wherever. Okay, let's see how white responds to this, because white went from a very strong position to a kind of a weak position right now. So I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, pulling around a little bit. Yeah, picking off units, getting another upgrade is good. White is really good at getting upgrades for his units, honestly. That's one thing about Wesnoth that I have such a problem with. It's knowing when to use your units to really get those upgrades in a multiplayer game. Ooh, so really good job. Even though he can't build up this force again, he's able to stabilize the central area and prevent it from becoming a total loss. And he was able to take out blue here, so he will hopefully be able to come take back his fortress next turn. This Dune Soldier is a big problem, because if this Dune Soldier moves to the Citadel, it's just going to be such an annoyance, and it will allow blue to move up a lot of units. Blue has been... Oh, blue doesn't have much money at all, does he? Oof, that sucks. But still, blue has a few units down here. He can move these 3 units up. If this Dune Soldier can just defend the Citadel enough for blue to move up more forces, 1, 2... 3, 4, 5 forces he can move up here while his commander stays here to recruit. That can really put white in a bad position where he maybe has to flee to purple's castle if he wants to sustain the fight. And then in that case, he may have to give up on this fight with red and come deal with blue. But let's see what happens. Oh, and blue is doing that. Taking the Citadel. Taking out one of the Dune Burners, or the Drake Burners. I keep calling them Dune Burners. Ooh, blue is really screwing white over in this game. And red has a huge recruitment. I think this is more than enough to deal with this. White has to retreat. I don't think he can sustain this against such a huge force here. He has to pull back and try to defend his territory. Maybe even go back up to purple's former territory and try to defend that. Let's move on, see what red does. Yeah, red may even wipe this out, honestly. He's got such an overwhelming advantage. White cannot sustain this. Ooh, really big reversal for white. Too bad. White would have probably won this, I think, if he could recruit a bit more. But the fact that he lost his main fortress was awful. Very, very terrible. Yeah, this is going to get wiped out. Oh boy. Brutal for white. That whole force is going to be gone now. He'll be lucky if he can hold any of these units here to just defend. Yeah, red has just an overwhelming force right now. Okay, let's continue on. Green just being an annoyance again. This one green merman is so annoying. Okay, let's see what white can do. How can white stabilize this? White is like my hero right now. White has been playing such a good game. I don't want to see him lose. So let's see what happens. Okay, pulling out. Yeah, he's retreating. He's retreating from here, which is a good move. I don't think he can contest this fortress, especially just with one unit. He needs recruits. And he has a lot of money, which is good, because he's been holding a huge area of the map for a long, long time. So we can recruit a lot whenever he can get to a fort. So I think he's going to retreat back to purple's territory and let blue take the middle and maybe come back and fight blue and red later. Red is taking this. White is going to retreat, maybe south or wherever. I don't know where you can retreat to. Red does have a few units in the south, like this guy who can stop them, so they may get stuck against the skirmisher and then get squished between this big army and these mountains and the skirmisher in the south here. So I don't know what they'll do, but let's see what happens next with blue. Blue coming to dominate a huge area of the map now. Blue suddenly turned the tides of this whole game. Damn, blue controls a massive area of the map now. So white went from controlling most of this eastern side of the map to basically nothing, or most of this western side of the map to basically nothing. I think white has, what, 1 fort left, 1 village, 2 villages right now, and no area where you can really recruit easily. Blue controls the entire south, the entire center of the map, and most of the east. So blue's in a really dominant position right now. Red has a big army, but doesn't control that much territory. Just has a few villages here, but he does have a big army, which is good. And red is a very good player, it seems. He's very able to deal with these situations and keep his army under control. So let's see what happens. What does red do? Red is moving south. I think that's a bad idea. Waste of time to deal with blue. And I don't know, he's sending all these units south. I don't like that at all. He's trying to kind of make a position here. I don't like trying to go south. I think he should try to deal with these white units in the middle. He should have come and tried to wipe these out and then create a good defensive position in the middle. Red really should just give up on the south and try to defend the center as much as possible. Maybe make peace with white even. Let white go and try to defend this area against blue moving in, because blue is increasingly becoming a big issue. Where's blue's commander? Blue's moving to the center. Ooh, that's very dangerous. Blue's going to start recruiting here. It's going to turn into a very rough game. Okay, let's see how white handles this. Hopefully white can get rid of this stupid merman. I'm sick of this merman being here. Okay, there he goes. Yeah, that merman's gone. Flying back to the fortress here. Okay, so still no recruits from white. White is almost out of the game right now. Basically a non-entity. Red has a strong position, spreading out a little bit more than I think would be good. But blue's just everywhere. I don't know what blue's doing. Blue's just like all over the map right now. Not really well defended anywhere, but controlling a lot of the map. I think blue really needs to consolidate. He needs to build up a new force here and decide what he wants to do. Does he want to fight red or does he want to crush white? Okay, blue going south again. Taking up some more of the white territory. Oh, taking out a few of the white units, which is good. And getting a level up here. Okay, so again, blue's just spreading out everywhere, controlling a huge area of the map, but not really strong anywhere. He doesn't have any strong part. And I think red has a good force here, a good force here. I think red, all red has to do is just crash in on blue, and blue is going to lose a lot of these areas because blue is not really in strength at any part of the map. He's just spread out so much. He doesn't have any position where he can actually project strength. So I don't know. Blue controls a lot, but I think he's going to lose a lot very soon. Yeah, here it goes. Taking out white's remaining units, which is a good move from red. There we go. Another upgrade, which is nice. And moving in on strength in the middle. So red went from possibly losing to now being the dominant factor. I think despite the fact that blue controls so much of the map, blue just doesn't have much strength. Blue doesn't have any consolidated units anywhere. He just spread out all over the place, capturing stuff. And I don't know if he can stand up against this force from red. This is just going to chop up all his units. Let's see how white handles this now. White is... What is he doing? Oh my god. Why is he not recruiting? White apparently deciding not to recruit anything, just flying around as his commander as his only unit, which is odd, I think. Okay, let's take a look at blue now. Now, as I said, if I were blue, I would try to consolidate. Like, it looks like he is trying a little bit in the south here, which maybe is a good move. I don't know. I think his strength is in the south. I think he should really focus there. Let red and white kind of fight it out. Maybe put a little bit of a token resistance over here just to slow them both down. But really, I think he should be consolidating in the south and trying to push up over here rather than trying to fight all over the place. It looks like his commander is over here, so maybe he will try to turn the center into a hard point while just using these southern forces to kind of harass that. So that could also be good. It'll keep red bottled up in this eastern corner here. So that could also be a good idea. So I don't know. I'm not a strategic guy, and I'm not playing any of these factions, so I don't know what their thinking process is. Let's continue on to the next one. Red team here. Red going back to recruit. Red, again, consolidating his position, moving out a little bit more, recapturing some of these southern villages. Unfortunate for blue. It looks like the map is going to get split in half, with blue controlling the entire western side and red controlling the entire eastern side, which could make for a nice confrontation. There's only a few places where you can actually cross over. Right here in the middle, of course, and then in the south over here. And there's the waterways, but these are not really viable except for the aquatic units to really fight a lot in. Though Dune Folk versus Dune Folk is pretty interesting, and I think Nagas are a great option for this kind of Dune versus Dune, Dune down showdown. All right, let's continue on. Now, what the heck is White going to do? White is still in the game, but he's almost dead. He's just fighting, like he's just picking off blue units. I don't know what he's doing. He's just doing whatever. I think White is kind of out of the game right now. Let's see Blue's move. Again, I don't really like this move from Blue. He should be just trying to make a defensive line right here. And sending his commander out there, I guess that's fine. He can upgrade his commander. Okay, I don't know. I don't think that's that bad. Making a defensive line here is good as well. Yeah, he should try to just control his entire half the map. I think that's a good move for Blue. Make a defensive position here, and then have a few units in the south here just to defend. And just to counter this push from red is good enough. And make his main push in the center here, where red is the weakest. Or sorry, where red is the strongest to be able to push into red's kind of core territory over here. Let's continue to the next turn, see what red does. Red actually moving north, which is interesting. Probably a good idea, though. Taking out these forces from blue in the middle. Probably he will be able to take it out. Yeah, he is able to take out that level 2 soldier and take that central position. So maybe blue, maybe I was right, maybe blue should have just taken up a nice defensive position a little bit on the left side of the river here, because pushing in too much, especially with inadequate forces, seems like a bad idea. Red has a lot of forces here. He can easily make a good attack push against blue, and blue is just kind of spread out everywhere. Blue defending well in the south. Let's see what white does now. What the heck is white going to do? Okay, white is still in the game. He's recruiting. Okay, getting a few more units here. Good idea from white. So white is still in the game. White can't be ignored because he's still a player. And he can probably consolidate this little corner here and do what basically blue was doing before. Just wait until he can move in and kind of disrupt the whole situation here. So now white has become the wild card player. Okay, blue moving to control this whole area, kind of creating a north-south axis along this lake. So it looks like this area around the lake and around the central castle is going to be the main combat zone. I like blue's use of Nagas. Nagas are such a good unit, especially as they level up. They become incredibly powerful. I think this is a level 2 Naga right here, right? Yeah, Naga Ophidian. This is such a good unit. The Jarid is so powerful, range attack, and the curved blade is also quite strong. They don't have any resistances, but they don't have any weaknesses either. So I will like the Nagas a lot. I think the Dune Folk are one of the best factions for contesting the water. I think Dune Folk and honestly the Merman Hunter from the Rebels are both really good aquatic unit factions. Is it Merman Hunter? I think Merman Hunter is from the Rebels, right? Or maybe it's from Loyalists. I'm not sure, but I think both of those factions have very good aquatic gameplay. But yeah, Dune Folk are one of the best factions, in my opinion, for fighting in the water. So I like his use of Nagas. I would actually maybe see about getting another Naga and controlling both the north here and this lake area to really have a strong force in these areas while he pushes in the middle with his main group. Let's see how Red responds to this. Okay, Red taking more of a defensive position, so he's pulling back, which is maybe a good idea. Sending a few units back down south. Being a bit indecisive, so he's taking them north, taking them south, taking a more defensive position here. I guess he's just kind of consolidating where his defensive lines are, controlling his territory here, trying to control this territory in the south, and forcing Blue to kind of contest with that. But it looks like Blue has enough forces where he can push here, and is enough forces at least just to defend the south. I think Blue shouldn't bother attacking the south. He's just trying to defend this as much as possible. Maybe use this rider to just harass Red a little bit, but probably just defending would be a bit better idea. Let's see White. What is White going to do? Okay, White just taking out some of these villages that he lost previously. Again, just kind of consolidating his position here, reestablishing himself in the game as he is still a player of the game. And healing up his commander too, which is a good idea. Okay, so White is still in the game. Nobody can ignore White. And White seems to be a very good player. He just got caught from behind a little bit. Blue is just kind of consolidating as well. So it looks like both Red and Blue are just kind of lining up for a big showdown. Okay, again, not much going on from Red. Both of them just kind of lining up here in the middle. Not really willing to push in on each other's defensive position. Let's see White. White is really the wild card. White might be the one to really get things going here, to be honest. It looks like White actually might be trying to do a sneak attack on Red, coming around the north of Red, where Red really doesn't have any defenses. And this force is small, but it's more than enough to deal with what Red has up here. Red could find himself in a position where he suddenly has no home base to retreat back to, and that's very, very bad. He might have to retreat to the south and use this as his main base if White can come around here and kind of catch him with his pants down, as Blue did to White earlier in the game. Blue, what's Blue doing here? Again, just kind of consolidating, not doing that much, not really attacking, not being very aggressive. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Red is a little bit in the open here. Red's position is pretty bad. I think it might be worth for Blue to push in a little bit, but I don't know. Their forces are pretty evenly matched. It might be good for Blue just to wait, honestly, and keep recruiting, build up a massive force, and then move in. Blue must see that White is moving out as well. Maybe it might be worth for Blue to counterattack White while White is moving out, and being able to deny White any kind of position as well, to avoid them, White becoming a big problem again. Red, kind of just doing nothing as well. Doing a little bit of a counterattack here. Kind of useless. He did get a level up, which is nice. But so did Blue. I don't really like this focus on the south, honestly. Like, maybe that's an okay idea. Blue doesn't really have any more support in the south, but I feel like Red should be focusing right here where Blue has a big army moving in. And again, White's going to have a big army moving in the north here as well. Let's see what happens. Now, White right here is moving in very cautiously. Not much going on. White just positioning himself. Again, probably waiting for an attack. Let's see Blue. Blue's still not in a bad position. He might be able to take out this level 2 cavalry. Yeah, there it goes. So Red, oh, and he got a level up as well. So Red kind of fucked himself a little bit. Red wanted to push in here. This is a bad idea. This is a great defensive position for Blue. Along the river here, Blue can really easily defend, and he can leverage his Nagas as well to come in there down the river. Looks like Blue's moving a few forces down south. Ooh, a lot of forces down south. Why is he abandoning this whole positioning? That's way overkill. He's pulling up basically his whole army down south. against like a couple things. I guess he doesn't know. It's no way for him to know, but that leaves this whole center open for red. Red should just push in now that blue is basically retreating. Okay, dealing with this position down here. I think this is a lost cause for red. I think red should not be bothering with the southern area here, to be honest. I think he's going to lose a lot of these units for really not much gain. Or maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. This white army is a problem for red, I think, way more than anything else. Okay, it looks like blue and red are just reevaluating and deciding to go down south. Now, what about white? What will white do? White might just take this out. Moving this soldier out was a dumb idea. I don't know why red did that. He should have kept him where he can defend. Now the soldier's out in the open. He's just going to get killed. Like, this soldier's going to die now. Very easily. I think white was just waiting there, kind of baiting red out. So that soldier's going to die very soon. He's so weak right now. And I think, yeah, white was just baiting red to see what he would do. He came out with his one soldier that did nothing, and now that soldier's probably going to die. And red either has to recruit or send some armies up north to deal with this red army, or red's going to have some big problems very soon. He's so split up. He's got forces in the middle here, not really doing much. Forces in the south here trying to deal with this position. And then, like, just kind of all over the map. Like, red's a little bit broken up with his positioning right now. Blue's in a much stronger position. He's still pretty consolidated around the center and the south. Easy for him to travel north and south between these two forts as well. And white, I don't know what to say about white. I don't know what white's doing. Let's see blue's position right now. I still think blue has the stronger position here in the south because he's in the defensive and he's got the nice defensive line here. And oh my god, a level 3 Naga. Let's take a look at that. Naga Sicarius. Oof. Very, very strong. Ooh, 13 times 3 range attack. And huge bonuses for the movement in sand, water, swamp, and deep water. Oof, really, really good. Oh boy, yeah, this red army and another upgrade there. Oh my god. Blue is dominating this position here, and he's moving a lot of forces south. I think that's totally unnecessary. I think what he has in the south can easily deal with that red army there. But, you know, he has a lot of money, so I guess he can just recruit more. He's just recruited more. I guess this army here will deal with the center, and all these guys can go down south and swoop around, wipe out, come north again. Red's position is really bad right now. Red is just collapsing everywhere. Ooh, yeah, he did get that unit out, get an upgrade there, which is good, but I think it's just not enough. Red just doesn't have the mass to sustain this fight here, and blue's coming down with more units, so all of these red guys are going to get killed if they don't retreat. Red's sitting more units down, but not enough, you know? Ooh, one. Ooh, very lucky for that. Wow, nice. Okay, let's see. What will white do now? Okay, white's smartly going back to recruit. He needs more units for sure. And retreating a little bit, which maybe is a good idea. Against that level 2 unit, I think so. He would take a lot of damage trying to fight this in the open. Probably better just to retreat for now and build up more units and build a bigger army to, I don't know, attack somewhere. Maybe attack blue from behind when blue's not ready. I think blue's going to easily clean this up in the south. This is a really good position for blue and a very terrible position for red. Yeah, ooh, this level 2 Dune Burner may end up being killed. Yeah, there he goes. Ooh, and an upgrade here for the Skirmisher. Oh, unfortunately, an upgrade there as well. A lot of misses. But yeah, I think blue is going to have no problem cleaning this up. Geez, blue moving a lot down south. Why? Should be moving in the middle as well. And red is responding to white, as well as moving in the middle, too. So red is kind of consolidating his position. I think blue, he has enough forces down south. He has a huge army down south. Unnecessarily huge, I think. This is way too much to deal with, like, 4 units. Like, He really should have more units in the middle because red has a big army here. What's stopping red from moving in and just surrounding blue's castle here and putting blue in a very shitty position? Not much, really. Let's see white now. White, my shining star. Coming back from the brink here and building up a nice little position. Being very defensive at the moment, it seems. But still good with his positioning. On the other side of the lake, the drakes can fly over the water, so they can kind of hide behind terrain like this and then fly over to attack. Hiding in the forest is good. That's what I was saying about purple early in the game. He should have been using this forest for cover. I have no idea why he didn't want to do that, especially since elves have amazing defense in the forests. But it looks like white is going to make an attack on blue, do exactly what blue did to him, and just pop these little forts down here. Let's see blue. Blue really hyper-fixated on red at the moment, and perhaps to a stupid degree. Well, he's killing them, but I mean, there's only a few units here, and he's got a huge army down here for nothing, really. Like, he doesn't need all these guys here. It's a lot. It's overkill. Really overkill. Okay, let's see red right now. Red going down south again. I think that's kind of a waste, honestly. Red should just forget the south and defend the middle and push more on the center as well. But whatever. Let's see white now. Right? White looking like he's getting ready for a big attack. Ooh, really going deep into blue territory. Taking this one, making a good defensive position around this village. Strong defensive position around this village here. With his oracle as well to help with the healing. Wow. Really good position for all of these guys. Where's his commander? Oh, his commander's mixed in this group here. So really strong army moving south. I guess what he wants to do is make a position down here to hopefully cut blue in two. Instead of keeping his position in the north here, come down here, cut off blue's southern army. And that would be devastating for blue if he can cut blue in half like that. Let's see what blue does. Does blue respond to this, or does blue keep going after red and his paltry units in the south? I really don't like this from blue. Blue is making a mistake here, being too vindictive about red. Like, he's killing off these units in the south here, but red doesn't have much here, and this is a lot of commitment for not much gain, you know? This is a very big commitment from blue. Okay, let's see red. What does red do to respond? Red has also been quite passive this whole game. I think a bit too passive. He's not following up his successes that well. When he beat, when white was beaten back, I think that was the time for red to really push both towards this kind of corner, the left corner, and into the middle. But he didn't do that. He just played very passively, defensively, and now he's kind of paying the price for that. He's being pushed into a fairly weak defensive position. Let's see white here. Okay, white taking a very strong position in the south. Always keeping his units very well positioned. And always having the healer in the middle, which is very useful. Yeah, great job from white. White really coming back in this game, coming to control the whole far eastern side of the map, sorry, far western side of the map. And blue is now getting hemmed in. Blue is stuck in the south here. We committed so much for really nothing. And he's also got his commander in the middle, but he's basically going to have his forces cut in half. He's going to have this army, big army, but not able to replenish itself. Does he have any healers down here? He has one healer, one apothecary, or one herbalist, I should say, and not really any other way to renew this force. And red's going to cut that off. White's going to cut him off over here. So these two are going to cut him off in the middle. So white's going to be stuck, sorry, blue's going to be stuck in like two positions and unable to really support either of them, I think. Blue being really aggressive, but almost like stupidly aggressive. Like attacking this big force here, I think is a mistake. Like he should just try to consolidate into this fort. Like he's killing a few units, but is he even able to kill it? He's not even able to kill it, which is no good. Okay. Well, you know, finally pushing in the middle, finally doing that, which he should have done a long time ago. But he's going to get backstabbed by white at this rate. Okay, let's just see what red does. Red may lose this force here, I don't know, but still, I think blue is being a little bit uncautious. Okay, blue losing a few units, red getting some upgrades, which is nice, but I think red can hold this position. All red needs to do is defend this position. I think he's okay. Because white is going to clean up blue's rear, and then all red needs to do is slowly retreat, and then he's back in the same position of red and white again, if blue can be cleaned up. Yeah, moving into the middle now, but again, not enough, and I think this force is going to get cleaned up by red. Just not enough to deal with it. Okay, let's see what white does now. White being cheeky little bugger as well. These swamps are nice for white. These little Saurian units are really good in the swamps. And ooh, picking off blue there. Again, cutting blue off. Blue is now officially cut off into two areas. He has his commander and a few forces in the center. And then he has this army in the south that cannot be replenished. And he's pretty lacking in the center too. Now, blue has money because he's held most of the map for a lot of the game. But now blue is cut in two. I don't know what blue's going to do. Like, blue is really squeezed between these two armies now. And I think it is going to end up being white and red for the final showdown. Okay, blue doing well to clean up red's defense here, but red only needs to defend. Red just needs to defend this, recruit more, send another army down, and then I think he'd be able to deal with whatever blue has. White is going to clean up blue anyways at this rate. Okay, blue finally moving out of the middle. Maybe going to abandon the middle to white. White will finally get his home fortress back. Okay. Yeah, pushing out of here, that's a good idea, but now where the heck is blue going to go? Like, blue lost his home fortress. Where can blue go from here? And he's abandoning this. This is a great defense position. He's abandoning it. He can't go to red's fortress. Red can easily recruit and defend it. He can't go south because this line of units is blocking his retreat south. If he can clean that up, that'd be fine, but it's going to take a while to clean up. And white is right on his heels, so I think blue may be out of the game soon. Like, blue looks kind of strong, but I just don't know where he's going to go. He's running away. He's abandoning this fort. He's got this army here that can't be replenished, and it's still tied up with these units here, so it can't move easily. And these units are also tied up by these red units here, so they can't move easily either. So they're just two little isolated pockets I think are going to get crushed. Let's see anyways. What does red do? Uh-oh. That level 3 unit. Oh my god, that poor level 3 Naga is gone. Damn, dude. Like, blue is not cautious at all with his upgraded units. Like, really wasting them. Oh my god. Look at this. Yeah, look at this. Red is just... all he needs to do is hold this. All red needs to do is hold this, and he can recruit more. No problem. Red has tons of money. And I think this is done for blue. Like, blue is squeezed between white over here. Red is holding this army in the south. This army is being held captive, and it cannot replenish itself. Every loss for the southern army is devastating because it can't get more. And his commander's like in the field, but he can't go anywhere. Like, where can his commander go now? If I was blue, I'd probably retreat to purple's old territory up here. I'd probably just retreat north. Do what white did and just run away. Give up. Give up on this. Maybe bring this southern army somewhere. I don't even know where. I'd probably stop fighting this red army. Bring it south somewhere to control the south a little bit more. Retreat. Retreat with his commander and this force to the north here, because he still has an open lane to retreat here. He can still retreat. White hasn't cut him off yet, So I would retreat north and go hide up here. Retreat south this army to hide down here. And just try to wait it out. Wait out for a good time and then attack, do a counterattack later. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Blue seems like a very prideful player that doesn't want to give up. And white, taking back his home fortress. Finally, the return of the king. Blue is going to be kicked out of here. And white went from on the verge of extinction to coming back. Jeez, look what a comeback for white. Oh my god. He was down to just his commander with like half health. Now he's taken back the whole half the map and dominating. Blue is going to be out of the game soon. Like, blue is going to be cut off now. Blue won't have a retreat at this rate, you know? Blue will not be able to retreat. And he'll be cut into bits, basically. Let's see what blue does. I don't know what blue will do. Blue's still trying to fight this in the south. I don't know. I don't like that at all. Is he going to try to retreat south? I mean, like, maybe. I don't think that's really a good idea, honestly. I just noticed that blue has no income. He's actually got negative income. So I think blue really has no options here. He can't, even if he retreats, like, he doesn't have enough money to rebuild his forces. So maybe it is a good idea to just reunite his armies into one army and retreat south. So maybe that is the best idea. It looks like that's what he's trying to do. Retreat south with unite his armies again. And maybe just hide out in this bottom right corner. Like, that might be a good idea. He still has a big army. Blue's only saving grace. He still has quite a large army. If he could just hold out and regain some of his money, then he can maybe take advantage of that later. Because right now, white is really big, really powerful. Red is still in a strong position. And blue just needs to get under control a little bit here. Okay, red moving out, reestablishing his defenses. Red has played a really good defensive game. He's been, if anything, too defensive, too passive. But he's defended himself quite well. He's never ever been on the really terrible position. He's always been able to hold his territory. He's the only player that's maintained his original territory and never really been pushed too deep. He's never really had anybody push him too deeply. And he's going to cut off blue here. He might squish blue between these two armies. See what white does. White really consolidating all of blue's former territory. So it looks like it's going to be white and red controlling half the map here. Yeah, white moving on in to cut off blue. Blue's still tied up with the remnants of red's army in the south here. Red is such a annoyance for blue. Blue cannot unite his army. And I think the fact that he's tied up with red's 2 units there and white moving in to just destroy them means blue is just done. I think this is over for blue. But geez, what a comeback from white. White really turned this around. He went from being like basically dead to now white is basically the dominant player on the game right now. I'd say white is totally dominant. Red is still too defensive and he's cut off from the south. Like, even though red is blocking blue from the south, he also has no control of the south. Red basically only controls this little area. White basically has total control over the entire south and and west of the map. And nobody can contest that from white. So I think white really has the best position here. White also controls the center really strongly and can do whatever he wants, basically. Blue trying to salvage this, but like, again, just a bad position from blue. And no money either. Unable to deal with this little force here as well. Okay. Trying to consolidate, maybe blue can do it. I don't know. If blue can like consolidate in the south, start building up some money again, make a strong position in the south here, maybe control these 1, 2, 3, 4 villages, and maybe even take the whole southern area of the map, then maybe blue can come back. So we'll see. I don't know what'll happen here. but it's not looking good for blue. His position is just too weak. Red is really consolidating. Looks like red is maybe going to make a push here, which would be a good idea. Finally doing something a little bit tricky other than just defending. But what is white going to do? White has a massive army. And white still has some defenders in the north. Yeah, white going to deal with this for now. This one red force here. Nice. Ooh, a big upgrade for white. Again, white really knows how to deal with his units and get those upgrades in, which is so important. Yeah, white really consolidating his force here. Huge white army moving south. It looks like he's just going to go south and wipe out blue. So, I mean, that's all he really needs to do, right? Okay. Ooh, another big upgrade. Is that at level 3? Oh, level 2 Fire Drake, but great, great, great. Lots of level 2 units for white here. Ooh, blue's commander. Uh-oh. I think blue is done. Blue is hemmed in here. He's going to lose his commander. Oh boy, look at that. Oh my god. Poor blue. Red tied him up for so long in this mountain pass here that blue could just not escape, and that was blue's death right there. He was stuck so long with this little red army. I think it was what I said before. The biggest mistake was blue trying to focus on the south. When he controlled a huge area of the map, he should have just consolidated the half the map and pushed in the center on red. Because red was not interested in like maneuvering. Red was totally, all his power was in right here. Blue should have consolidated in the center, turned this whole center area into a battlefield, and taken out white, like gone north and dealt with white, while white was still weak. Now white is strong and white's just gonna wipe out blue. Yeah, blue cannot deal with this. This is overwhelming. Lots of level 2 units. Blue has like no level 2 units, like a couple, but not much. Not enough to deal with this, you know? Deal with a few of them, but just not enough. Oh boy. Ooh. That commander needs to get out of there too. He's gonna get killed next turn. Okay, let's see what red is doing. Red is just maneuvering around, I guess. He's going to go sneak attack the north. Maybe that's a good idea for red. Maybe red should just consolidate the whole north. Then it can turn into this northern fight versus the south, I guess. Okay, white. Oh my god, I think white's going to do this now. White is just dominating. Look at this. This whole blue army is going to be gone. This whole blue army is gone now. Like, blue cannot compete with white's forces here. He's only able to hold on because of the mountains, honestly. Like, look at that. Wiping these guys out. He might even take out his commander. Yeah, oh, blue's done. Blue's done. His commander's done. White wins this. Look at this. Oh my god. Now, it's really down to just white and red. Can they fight it out, or is red done as well? So, blue is done. I mean, blue lost his commander. He's done the game. He still has a few units left, but these are just harassing. Like, blue is not in the game anymore. Ooh, okay. Whatever. Red sneaking around, taking some of these northern areas. So finally doing something. Red has been super passive this whole game. And yeah, wiping out the last of blue's forces here. Ooh, yeah, no way to compete with this. But once the commander's gone, there's no way for them to recover, to be honest. Because they can't recruit anymore. And all these upgraded units are just going to get killed. I think this is about game over now. Like, this is done. White can just swing around and wipe out red, I think. Red, I don't know if he has enough to deal with this either. Blue's basically just a roadblock at this point. just attacking for no reason, just trying to harass these guys. Now, White's commander is pretty weak, though. Ooh, I just noticed that. His commander is a little bit weak. If Red can take out the commander, White can take out the commander, or Blue can take out that commander, that would be really terrible for White. That would turn White from dominating to suddenly basically having no option in the game anymore. Let's see, next turn, Red taking the north, so Red's turning this into a north-south type game. Good move for Red, anyways. Getting a lot of recruits as well. So Red is turning the position really well into his favor. See the White player here. Okay, White retreating with his commander. Good move, good move. You do not want to lose your commander, especially when you're winning like this. If he's like doing such an amazing job and then he loses his commander, that's such a shame, to be honest. And White should recruit another group of units to deal with Red in the north here. Yeah. If I was White, I would also detach a few of these units and try to harass Red in the north. Because Blue is just running away. Blue is like done. Red moving in now. Ooh, Red sniping some of these little villages. Ooh, Red being very sneaky. White might find himself a little bit surrounded. White is strong, but if he is not strong enough to deal with Blue soon, Blue could just be an annoyance, and Red is surrounding White now. Look at this. He's totally surrounded White. And White is a big force, but again, this force is still getting beaten down a little bit. So let's see. Can he cope with this? I don't know. This healer is so good. The fact that White has two healers here really makes this force very powerful. Again, I've mentioned a few times before, but healers are so important in Wesnoth. Let's continue on. Okay, moving on south. Moving his commander on south too. I guess he's maybe going to move on to the southern fort. Might be a good idea. He has a ton of gold in the bank. He can recruit another big army and deal with the remnants of Blue. Blue just trying to do whatever. Blue, I guess, doesn't want to quit, but he's basically game over at this point. Ooh, another little loss there. Unfortunate, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Blue is done. Blue can't do much. Blue's just throwing what he has to kind of roadblock White a little bit. Maybe kill off a few units. Okay, let's see Red. Red being everyone on the map. Uh-oh, White. Oh no, White. White is losing control. White is so hyper-fixated on Blue, who's basically dead, that he's losing control of the map now. So, uh-oh, White might end up in the position Blue was, where he's suddenly going from winning to losing. Oh no. Oh boy, White. Bro, come on. You can do this. Just forget about Blue. Take them out and get out of this game. Like, Blue still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units here, and that's enough to be a super tedious annoyance to deal with. And White is so hyper-fixated on dealing with them that he's gonna get just, like, blockaded in the south here. Jeez. He might lose too many units from this, honestly. Oh boy, okay. Oh, very bad loss of that level 2 unit for White. Ugh. Blue's just such an annoyance. Look at this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 upgraded units from Blue. 5, all these units are upgraded, I think, right? Is this guy upgraded? Level 2, yeah, level 2 Dune Scorcher. So all 5 upgraded units here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units from White. So, oh my god. This battle has really, this whole game has really gone back and forth. And honestly, like I said, Red basically spent the whole game doing nothing. Do nothing win, the Xi Jinping strategy. Or, I guess the Justin Trudeau strategy, do nothing. If you fight your enemies, they win. So he just didn't fight. he kind of just maneuvered and positioned, and he's like dominating the game now. Look at this. Oh my god. Everywhere. Red is everywhere, and he's doing nothing. This is one thing I like and hate about free-for-all matches, is like there's always that guy who does nothing and just constantly is like behind the scenes moving around and then suddenly taking things whenever you try to move out for the more aggressive players, and it's so annoying. But you know, that's just how you have to deal with it. I don't know what else you do. You have to be very cautious. Like White is being so aggressive, Blue is being so aggressive that they're not thinking about what their positioning is, and that's really bad. Okay, White, what are you gonna do about this? Like, is he really gonna focus on focusing down these units? Again, killed one, but still 1, 2, 3, 4 units here. White needs to get... Okay, he's getting some upgrades, which is good, but White needs to get some recruiting done really quickly if he wants to even compete at all. Ooh. A big upgrade from White is nice, though. The one saving grace of White is he's also getting a lot of upgrades. And if he can get his commander in there to recruit, he will be in a much better position. Oh, okay. JDMP left the game. So that's game over, I guess. Yeah. So game over. I guess everyone decided to quit the game. So I guess White decided to quit. And I guess Red wins then. So Red's the winner at this point. So, yeah. So either way, good game by Red. Again, just kind of doing nothing. Just doing nothing through the whole game. And just kind of keep playing. And I guess that's just victory. So White being too aggressive, playing a really good game. White played a really, really good game. Great unit positioning, but being too aggressive. Losing positions that he didn't need to lose. Same with Blue. Blue playing a good game as well. Great game against Green, but didn't take advantage of his victory. Then just being all over the place and being aggressive, but then not holding any position clearly. And then Red just consistently holding his positions, spreading out with a few units when he could, but always having a very strong central position where he can easily maneuver around. And Red just really playing a great positional defensive game, really never attacking anybody. I don't think Red ever really attacked anybody this whole game. He just moved into the empty spaces. He was like a vapor, just expanding, moving into empty spots, and always consistently being everywhere and not being contained. So that was, I guess, Red's victory point there. So great job, Red. Great game. Very interesting game. A lot of ups and downs. Purple played a very awful game, honestly. Green was pretty good, but got just betrayed. Not really betrayed, but got sidelined by Red. White and Green both played good games. White especially played an excellent game. A great comeback there for a while. Went from being nothing to being... I thought he was going to win. Like, I thought White was going to win the game, but... looks like not. And yeah, Red just, you know, shows how you just have to hold on and play a good positional game and you can win. Either way, guys, that was a Wesnoth game. I'm sorry I didn't get a game with me playing, but if I can find a good online game where I can actually play the full game and people don't quit or some shit doesn't happen and I can post it, I will post it again. But I couldn't find anything recently. This was the only game I could find that was a good kind of like default game that was interesting, had a lot of ups and downs, so I wanted to share it. But, you know, hope you guys enjoyed it. Casting someone else's game for a change, not mine. But I will come back with more Wesnoth content and some more other content coming ahead next time. But I'll see you guys again in the next video. So goodbye, guys. And remember, guys, if you like the kind of content I make here, remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. But either way, guys, I'll see you again next time. So goodbye, everyone.